Assalamu alaikum, I'm Naila Edwards, and I'm joined today by the actor and presenter Adil Ray, OBE. You'll recognize him for his portrayal of Mr. Khan on BBC sitcom Citizen Khan, and his latest show, which is a revival of the word-based quiz show Lingo, premiered on New Year's Day as well.
Assalamu alaikum, thanks for having me.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for coming, and it's exciting to talk to you today. Before you worked on Citizen Khan and created Citizen Khan, you worked on many other platforms, but how did it feel to finally be able to work on something that was essentially yours and to have that sort of creative control and sphere to really project yourself on screen?
I look back now, I think at the time I just ran with it at the time. You just get caught up in it all, but you look back now, I mean, when was it, 2012 when we had our first series? God, I'm so lucky, so fortunate, so honored to be in that position, because essentially what you do is you have an idea, a little idea that you may have spoke to your friend over coffee one day. So, I've got this idea to do this thing. This little idea becomes this big idea, it becomes a script, and then it becomes a television series. I mean, it's incredible. But it's because you get the chance to work with brilliant people around you. And then when I got the chance, I remember doing this thing of using my innocence to my advantage, in that I would sit with writers or directors, and they'd say, well, can Mr. Khan sort of fly down, through the stars for the Christmas special? Or they're like, we haven't done that before. Oh, so that doesn't mean we can't do it then. So it's kind of like you ended up pushing people around you because you were sort of quite innocent and naive and had sort of bigger dreams and bigger ambitions, and that kind of served me well, I think.
Well, I'm sure we have lots of Citizen Khan fans watching, and I'm sure they'd love to know, what are your favorite moments looking back on all the series?
Oh God, there's so many great moments. I think the scene that really stands out for me, I remember it playing it out so well, was when we had to when Mr. Khan had to get Alia, the daughter, into the Catholic school. I mean, the very idea of it, I mean, the funniest moments were the bits that you just thought, oh my God, that would never happen. It's just it was just so ludicrous. But somehow, because Mr. Khan was so ludicrous, it felt like, okay, I'm going to go with this. So that was a great moment. And a lot of my scenes with Nani, I have to say, with the mother-in-law, anything we did with Nani would just, really endear me. Because I thought she didn't say many words, did Nani? Adeline Ross, who played Nani, but she just filled the room, because I think she was somebody that we could all relate to, and we just kind of loved her. And when I remember the episode where she sort of went missing, and we didn't know where she was, and there was all this panic that he'd lost her. She'd gone shopping in Birmingham, and I can't say it now, but you have to go and watch the episode. But she comes back with this very surprising line about Birmingham and her thoughts on what she thought of Birmingham. Now, she got away with it because it was Nani, and we thought, okay, that's okay. And all of our nannies had said something without realising probably what they've said. They've used a word like that. So, I think those are the things, those little moments that bring a smile to my face. Yeah.
What was it that attracted you to Lingo to want to present it?
I think actually the idea that there was no quiz questions, actually. You don't need to know general knowledge. You don't need to know capital cities. You don't need to know your literature. None of that. And I thought that was just great. And also from my point of view as a presenter, you can have a bit of fun with the contestants. There's a bit of room for that. And it just appealed to everybody.
Well, you're not the only one enjoying it. There's such a great response so far. How does it feel to be part of something that seems to be helping people through such a difficult time?
It's a real honor and a real privilege, isn't it? I mean, look, just from an entertainment point of view, it's just great to be able to put smiles on people's faces, and smiling at it sounds ridiculous, but at a time of such darkness in the moment, and people are really suffering, and some people are losing loved ones. Some people are, really unwell. People are working really hard. It's all sorts of losing their jobs, all sorts of difficult things. Even in that darkness, and even those real hard times, smiling is important. It's so important to try and stay upbeat. Otherwise, you just can't survive it. And then on top of that, this is not just entertainment; it's kind of educational. I mean, it's so many parents struggling to homeschool their children at the moment that be able to put them in front of the telly between 3 and 4 in the afternoon is probably a godsend. So it's great. And even young kids, I love it that even young kids, they're not necessarily being able to guess the words. I think they're using it as a way of just learning the alphabet or remembering the alphabet or learning words all the time. So it's brilliant.